Hi, my name is James Holroyd from PocketSurvey Cloud Surveying Software. Welcome to this short training session. I'm going to show you how the fire damper inspection software works and how to create your inspection reports quickly and easily. It should be under 20 minutes long. If you're not already a PocketSurvey user, contact us to get your low-cost trial month. The first thing to mention about the app is that it's designed for mobile devices, but also works great on desktop computers. There's only one interface to learn, which looks the same on all devices. So you can use it on Apple or Android, tablets and phones, as well as desktop computers, such as Windows, Mac and Chrome. With our uncluttered and easy to use interface, you can speed up your workflow tremendously and produce your survey reports immediately after doing your site inspections. All our cloud-based apps look similar and have some common features. So, before we create a complete report from scratch, I'll briefly explain the common features running across all our PocketSurvey apps. The button at the bottom left accesses all your reports, showing your building reports organised by town. At the top left, the main menu gives you access to valuable features such as the jobs calendar, location maps, jobs progress, users, client information, app setup features, help and support, and even the ability to export your data to spreadsheets. PocketSurvey has a unique feature that allows you to customize the menus and report structure within the app setup. We'll come back to that later on. So let's look at a fire damper inspection I've already done to give you an overview of what comes out at the end. On the buildings list, I tap on a building and you'll see the front page photo and inspection status, and then below that you've got some buttons. We can add a damper. There's a button to create the inspection report and one to open the generated report. If we scroll down, you'll see which client this report belongs to. That is if you have multiple clients. You can turn off the clients feature in the app setup if you don't want to use it. The inspection details section shows the inspector, inspection date, inspection time, the type of inspection, followed by some free format descriptive notes. The building details section shows more information about the building. There's an optional section to capture general building information. Of course, the most essential part of the report is the fire dampers section. You will see all the fire dampers inspected if you tap the view button. The items are grouped by the priority status for ease of view. You can add more fire dampers using the Add button. Towards the end, you've got general building images such as floor plans, schematics, and any image you want to add to your report. If you want to make changes to the inspection, select the Edit button. Let's scroll back to the top of the building record. To create your PDF report, choose the Create Report button, and when the report is ready, select the Open Report button. Let's look at a typical report in more detail. The front page is branded with your logo and your address. Then you've got your front photo of the building, plus an optional trade logo. Then you get an automatic table of contents, which is all hyperlinked, so you can jump to the different sections quickly. The report contains quite a lot of detailed information, all created at the click of a button. Then you've got an introduction page. Now all these phrases can be edited in the app, but we'll come to that later in the app setup. The overview section of the report shows inspection details, optional client details, building details, and if you're using the Remedial Works add-on feature, you can see the total cost of the remedial work for the fire dampers in this building, and you've got a breakdown of the status of all the dampers. This provides a nice executive overview for the client of the status of the dampers before reviewing the individual dampers. An additional information section is available for capturing any further details relevant to the survey, such as excluded areas or means of escape that might benefit your client. The fire damper register follows this section, detailing internal damper references, the location of the damper, type and a red, amber, green rating for the overall status of each damper. The individual dampers are shown in the following section of the report. Let's review a damper that has failed the inspection. This includes all the essential information such as damper type, airflow function, control method and some size information for each damper. It also includes supporting photographs, up to 3 per damper with built-in captions. The core of the inspection is the streamline checklist. We've identified 10 key areas of a fire damper survey and developed concise statements that address multiple compliance points within each area. This efficient approach minimises redundancy and significantly reduces the surveyor's workload. Each checklist item includes a statement, a pass or fail indicator, and any necessary actions. Following the checklist, the surveyor can easily log any required remedial works, including quantities and cost estimates. We've recorded 3 dampers in this survey, and each has its own dedicated page of review with all the relevant supporting information. We've included a helpful general fire damper safety guidelines for extra information for your client. Then a page on regulatory compliance. Disclaimer and limitations. Again, all this can be amended to suit your requirements in the app setup. Finally, a quality assurance statement to sign off the survey that includes the inspector's signature. Any forms of certification can be shown at the end of the survey with dedicated pages to display this. So let's start a new fire damper inspection to see how easy it is. Tap the Add button at the bottom right of the building's list screen. You'll see a scrollable form with several fields to fill in. Most of these will be user configurable menus to speed up data entry. First, you can choose a client, or if you want to, add a new one. Let's add a new client organization. Type my client, then tap use. Then you can either add a client contact name or pick an existing one. You can store other information about your client, which is helpful if you want to contact your clients on site, and so you have a little client database. Then we can choose the inspector. You can have different classes of inspectors, like more powerful administrators. You can also have a client login where a client can access their reports via a client portal. Choose an inspection date and an inspection time, and then add some inspection notes if you want to. The inspection status menu helps you track the workflow of your reports. We use a color-coded pipeline approach where you go from schedule through to completed work. Remember, you can add this information on site or do it in the office if you prefer. Now let's add some building details. You have a place to add a building reference, or you can use a report reference instead. Adding addresses is easy since Google will search for the address if you start typing it in. You can import addresses in bulk using the import feature within the app. The building name is used to identify different buildings at the same address. You can add an optional short description of the building. It's a good idea to allocate the report to a town, especially if you work nationwide, enter other building details as required. Your reports will look much better with photos, and PocketSurvey makes this easy for you. So let's take a building photo. I'm going to choose one that I've already taken, because I'm using a desktop computer, but you would snap this on site, directly from your camera. That's the photo added to the front page of your report. We use a similar approach when taking fire damper photos. When I choose Save the Building Record, you'll notice it's prompting us to choose which inspection type to use since it's a mandatory field. Choose an appropriate inspection type, then Save to add your report to the buildings list. Now we've set up the first part of the report. We can now inspect the fire dampers in the building. Let's do that now. So we'll tap into the building record to view it, and you'll see the information we've entered so far. What we're going to do now is add a fire damper. We tap the Add Damper button to load the scrollable data entry form. You should establish a location first, so you should choose a particular floor. And then, optionally, you can specify a room or area. You can tailor the list of locations to suit your needs in the app setup. Then, you choose the damper reference. You can set this damper reference list up yourself, but we've preloaded some references to make it easy. Then you can enter a damper code. This code can be a scan barcode or tag. Next, we add some information about the damper type. We specify the airflow function, control method, and then enter the damper size. Enter the length and width of the damper and the app will auto calculate the casing size. So that's the location of the damper and some basic information entered. The core of the inspection is the streamline checklist. Simply select Pass, Fail or Not Applicable. Let's select that this damper has failed on its links. Tap Fail and you will see a list of actions is displayed. You can look through these and tick all the relevant things relating to the damper. This is a quick way of answering many yes or no questions in one go. You can enter more detailed notes if necessary at the bottom of the form. However, the checklist menu should be sufficient for most purposes. We've implemented a method of inspecting a fire damper that makes it really quick. Following the checklist, you'll have 3 choices to indicate the overall condition of the damper: overall pass, overall fail and not tested, and then take a photograph. You can take up to 3 photos per damper. The app will automatically launch the camera on your mobile device. However, I'll pick one from my computer because I'm demonstrating the app on a desktop computer. You can take more photos and even draw on them to annotate them. So that's the first damper done. Let's inspect and add another damper. Let's choose our damper again. The PocketSurvey software remembers some options that you entered previously to speed up your data entry. So you should change a location, the damper reference, and obviously the damper code and sizes. The damper type might also be different, so change what you need to. And now for the checklist survey. Let's select a fail in relation to the blades. You can add free format notes if you wish in these menus. This will go down well with your clients since it gives them an excellent action plan in the report. So, as before, I'll assign an overall status of the damper and select a picture from my computer. We've organised the images so you can take an as found image, tested, and then a reset image. So we've entered 2 dampers so far. You'll see a list of all the dampers you've entered so far. If this list is longer than 5 items, you'll need to click the View button to show all the dampers in this building. You can keep adding other dampers by choosing the little Add button. Let's go back to the buildings list. Once you've inspected all the items in your building, you can now create your PDF report. You tap into the building record and choose the more prominent Create Report button. You will be prompted to confirm. It takes about 30 or 60 seconds while the software generates the report in the background. You can continue to work on other inspections while you are waiting. The Open Report button will appear when your report is ready. So far we've covered the essential aspects of creating a fire damper inspection report. As you've seen, it's quick and easy to do and produces a fantastic client report. But there's lots more to the software. For example, if your client wants a costed list of remedial works, you can use our Costed Works add-on feature. I'm going to demonstrate that to you now. So let's tap to open the building record. Then, if we scroll down to the fire dampers we've already inspected, we can choose the fire damper we want to add remedial works to. A quick note here, if we tap the pencil icon, we can edit the information in a form. However, if you tap in the middle, we can view the record. That's what we want to do in this instance. To add works, select the Add Work Item button to display the work items form. This form will use a schedule of works and costings set up in the app. We've set up some work items for you, but you can easily edit and add your own in the app setup. So let's search for signage and choose the relevant works item. As usual, you can enter additional notes if you wish. The work unit of measure has been filled in for you. It's up to you to change the quantity. You can see that the app has calculated the total cost. Furthermore, you can change the work status to scheduled, started, pending or completed. The app has automatically scheduled the work for the current year, but you can change that to a future year. You can also choose a work priority. Finally, we choose Save. You can add other work items in a similar way. So let's go back to the buildings list. Let me show you some standard features across all the list screens. These are accessed by the icons at the top right of the screen on the buildings, the items, the works, locations and the in progress screens. The spyglass icon lets you narrow down your list by using a filter. You've also got the tick icon where you can tick multiple records and then either delete or create a report for the selected records. You click the cross on the left to unselect. The curly icon at the far right is the synchronization button. You use this if you want to force synchronization from your mobile devices to your desktop and vice versa. At the beginning of this session, I briefly showed you some common features of all the PS Cloud apps. I guess you'd like to hear more details about these features. So I'm going to show you those now. The easiest way to get to the 3-bar menu is to tap the Home Buildings button at the bottom left. You will find these features when you tap the 3-bar menu at the top left. You'll see the common features running throughout all apps. So let's go into each one and explain in more detail. The Jobs Calendar lets you see your jobs by day, week, or month. If you click on a building address, you'll see the allocated time. You can then tap on it to view the building record. Let's go back to the calendar. You can always jump to today with the Today button at the top. Now let's look at the Maps feature. If you enter the postcode address, the Maps feature will show maps of all the buildings in your database. And as usual, you can tap to view the building record. If you want to get directions on site, you can scroll and then tap the View Map button. And this will launch Google Maps and allow you to get driving instructions by tapping the Get Driving Directions car icon. So that's the Maps feature. The Progress feature is handy for managing your workflow. The My Status screen on the left shows you the status of all your building reports. So if you tap Pending, you'll see all the pending building reports. Tap the collapse arrow if you want to go back up a level. The middle screen shows your building records in date order with the latest date at the top. You can view a record if you tap the middle of the form. If you tap the pencil icon, you can edit it. The screen to the right shows everything that still needs to be completed. With all these progress screens, you can add a new building record by tapping the plus icon. So that's the Progress feature. Let's look at the Users feature. As explained previously, you can have multiple types of users, such as an inspector only, an administrator who can configure the app, and a read-only client login. If you tap into a user, you can see details such as email, phone, address, signature, and so on. If you scroll down, you will see all the buildings they've inspected or quality checked. You can view the building record if you tap the middle of the form. If you tap the pencil icon, you can edit the report. So that's the user details. Let's back up a level. Let's look at clients. You can see all your clients in this list. If you scroll down to a particular client, such as Faster Surveys, you can see all your clients' details when you tap into the record. You can communicate with them on site with these buttons here on the right. You can also navigate to their address with Google Maps. If you scroll further down, you'll see all the buildings and reports scheduled or completed for this client. So that's the clients feature. Let's go back to the menu. The most revolutionary part of all the PocketSurvey apps is the app setup feature, where you can customize menus and report sections to suit your needs. You will see several configuration areas. By all means, contact us if you would like a personalized demonstration of these features. A side note here, you'll see each area on your mobile device as a separate tab. The app options lets you set some general aspects of your app. One thing you can do is turn features on or off. For example, you might want to turn off the clients feature because you don't have external clients. If we locate the Show Clients feature, we can set it to no. Oh, yes. The change will be immediate. To collapse the Show Features section, we tap the minimize arrow icon. You can configure many other features, so explore these during your trial period. Let's now look at the report fields that appear on your front page. In the Report Fields section, you can set the information on your report, such as company name, address, logo, and so on. Apart from changing options, you can also edit or add to menus displayed in the app. For example, the Locations section shows you a list of pre-configured locations. If we want to add a new location, we can tap the large plus icon. The Inspection options has many other menus that you can edit similarly. Just get in touch if you need further help with the App Options feature. Let's move on. The App Design section allows you to tailor various elements of the survey, including compliance statements, categories, and frequently used actions. That's the App Design feature. Don't be afraid of experimenting during your low-cost trial. We're always on hand to give you help and support. We can also control the report design to customize the PDF report to your needs. Let's expand the report design area first. Tap into the Disclaimer section and we see the phrases that will appear in that section of the report. Tap on the Edit Pencil icon to edit a phrase and make any changes you want. You can also hide a phrase from appearing in the report by toggling the Show option from Y to N. You can also hide whole sections from the report. For example, if you wanted to hide the Building Info section from a client report, tap into the Layout item and toggle the Show option to N. That's some of the very versatile report design features. Now let's look at tables and exporting your data to spreadsheet files. Note that this tables feature will only appear when using a desktop computer. You'll see the main data tables in the app, such as buildings, fire damper items, and possibly other tables depending on how your app is configured. Let's expand the building table and you will see a spreadsheet view of the data. You can filter this view using the spyglass icon to focus on part of the table rather than the whole. Tables are an advanced feature, so don't hesitate to contact us if you want to know more. Now, remember to get your low-cost trial if you're not already a PocketSurvey user, where you will get your first month's subscription at a vastly reduced price. There's no obligation to carry on your subscription after the trial month, and you've got access to the full software, including free training and support. If you don't like the software after that, that's no problem. Just let us know and we won't bill you, and you can continue your search for a digital solution for your fire damper inspections. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to learn more about any of our PocketSurvey apps, please visit our website PocketSurvey.com, where you'll see lots of information about all our building and inspection software. So that's the PocketSurvey fire and smoke damper inspection software in a nutshell. I hope you enjoyed the training session. Bye for now and see you soon.